Codependency versus narcissism. Differences and similarities. Well, the first thing we're going to do is explain the similarity. They both lack a sense of true self. A codependent person that has very low self-esteem does not know their true self. Therefore, they rely on others, the comfort and affection and attention of others to help them validate that. A narcissistic individual lacks a sense of self as well, but what they do as a form of replacement, they look to their ideal self. Ideally, doesn't exist, but they look at themselves as hierarchy, pretty much. And what they do is they basically take the attention and the validation of everyone else, and they basically just absorb it in. But they don't reciprocate that. They're all about themselves. So here's how we'll break it down. Same needs, different behavior, okay? They both are excessively reliant on other people's approval, okay? Other people's validation. But the difference between the two is that a codependent person relates more to a person who is selfless. A narc relates more to someone who is selfish. A codependent person carries empathy because they build their identity off of serving other people. They're people pleasers. They want to see people happy, and they're willing to go to any extent to do that. And in return, they just want the gratitude. A narcissist, on the other hand, they use the validation, the narcissistic supply, which is the admiration and the attention and everything, to pretty much inflate their ego, to inflate their self-esteem, because that's their ideal self. That's not who they really are, but ideally, that's who they want to be. Now, the major thing that they do have in common is control, okay? But here's the thing. A codependent person may try to control another individual's behavior based on what they feel is best for that person, okay? Even though they're not intentionally trying to control someone, that's how they're conditioned to be. They're trying to control a situation based on what seems logical and that makes more sense. A narc, however, tries to control the situation so they can get what they want, so they can get any and everything that they want out of the situation, which includes using manipulation. But rather than get more into it, the next few clips you're going to see is basically giving you some of the similarities and the differences between a codependent and a narcissist. So pay attention to it, because you never know, you might be seeing the red flags. Codependency is a disorder of a lost self. Codependents have lost their connection to their innate self. Instead, their thinking and behavior revolve around a person, substance, or process. Codependency is marked by a person's focus on living for or through another. Codependent people have an obsessive need to take care of and control the actions of others. Signs of a codependent person include having difficulty making decisions in a relationship, having difficulty identifying your feelings, having difficulty communicating in a relationship, valuing the approval of others more than valuing yourself, lacking trust in yourself, and having poor self-esteem. A narcissistic person believes that there are special reasons that make them different, better or more deserving than others, have fragile self-esteem so that they rely on others to recognize their worth and their needs, feel upset if others ignore them and don't give them what they feel they deserve. They resent other people's success. They put their own needs above others and demand that they do too. They can be seen as selfish and above themselves. They tend to take advantage of other people. Signs of narcissistic personality disorder. A grandiose sense of self-importance. Lives in a fantasy world that supports their delusions of grandeur. Needs constant praise and admiration. Sense of entitlement. Exploits others without guilt or shame. Frequently demeans, intimidates, bullies, or belittles others. So guys, I hope that this was somewhat educational for you. I did some research on it. I'm still doing more research on it all, but also understand something. Typically, a codependent and a narcissist generally end up in a relationship together, believe it or not. They're like magnets because they're both fulfilling each other's needs, which is the validation and the attention and so forth and so on. However, a codependent person is the people pleaser. They're the ones who want to see the person happy, and they'll do any and everything possible, even though it may not be somewhat healthy for them. At the end of the day, the narcissist, once they get bored or once they feel that it's just not enough supply for them, they end up discarding and they end up trying to find new supply. All right, but we'll get more into that when I do some more videos. So I hope this this taught you something, and I hope that you guys really take it into account. All right, so until next time, namaste.